So in this segment, we're going to be talking about some more information coming out from Tony Connolly. So these tweets are from the 25th of January. So this is the most recent information I think I have from him, and I'll probably rush to get this video out a bit quicker, purely because there's so much contradictory information going on about the situation in Northern Ireland. Things are moving very, very quickly on negotiations, and there was one story where they want to wrap things up in February, March even, and now it's February, because they want to avoid the election season. And so Tony Connolly saying that the EU Brexit negotiator Šefčovič has told member states there is no prospect of an imminent breakthrough in the Northern Ireland Protocol negotiations, and this is predominantly because of Liz Truss. So Šefčovič briefed EU European Affairs ministers in Brussels that yesterday's meeting with Liz Truss was frustrating and difficult, even though there had been an improved atmosphere in both sets of talks so far. And the fact is, Šefčovič talked consistently about an improved atmosphere. Maybe Liz is less hostile than the Iceman was. I don't know, but they did talk about how I think Šefčovič was under the impression that Liz Truss wanted to come to some sort of agreement here around this, but evidently not the case. The main complaint is that Truss is still talking about renegotiating the protocol and bringing up issues that had been dealt with long ago, according to one source present. And this could be because Johnson, maybe she thinks Johnson's fall is imminent, and so she wants to look like the hardline Brexiteer in order to win over, kind of Red Wall MPs and also the ERG. It's very hard to read what Liz Truss is going to do, because truth be told, I don't think she knows what she's going to do next. Absolute wild card. One example is state aid, with Truss saying that trade and cooperation agreement state aid provisions should be used instead of the protocol provisions, which are more onerous. And so the EU countered this by saying the two treaties are different. The protocol provisions on state aid reflect the fact that Northern Ireland is de facto in the single market, while the TCA provisions relate to international trade. And there's the issue there, that if state aid rules were easier around Northern Ireland, the UK could invest a lot more into Northern Ireland, which exists within the EU single market for goods, a single market and a customs union for goods, but also in the UK's kind of single market. I think it's hard to explain, but essentially basics. Northern Ireland can export both to GB and the EU with no problems. And so what the EU implemented was stricter state aid rules to reflect that. The fact that Northern Ireland does have a competitive edge with EU member states in that respect. This was all gone through a long time ago, and this is why Frost going and getting in Liz Truss helps them a lot, because Liz Truss was more of a smaller minister. I think she was Minister for Trade at the time, and so she didn't deal with this. It was actually the Iceman. Frost said by getting in Liz Truss, she can kind of pick at these issues without having the issues Frost had, which was, well, you signed it and negotiated it, so why are you moaning now? But then again, Liz Truss actually voted for this, so it does make her position a bit more difficult, but it's not as bad as the one Frost was in. So now she wants to go over state aid. The UK wants stronger focus on SPS checks and customs formalities on goods crossing the Irish Sea. Technical teams will work on this this week on what Šefčovič has called a joint gap analysis. He and Truss will meet again on Thursday next week to discuss. The focus will be on how far the Commission can lower checks while still remaining reassured that unregulated goods will not leak into the single market. And the more the kind of UK threatens to deregulate, and once that Australian meat kicks in, that's what's going to cause the problems predominantly. The view on both sides is that such checks are tangible irritants for business and unionists, and that Truss wants to address those and see things from there. And the thing is, checks are that's what they're designed to do. It's designed to stifle trade, and also make sure the goods that are coming in are up to the regulatory standards of your own market. However, there is no appetite on the EU side for splitting up issues and kicking harder stuff into the long grass, and this is where Liz Truss will have problems, because Frost essentially allowed this to happen in the end, because he acknowledged that the current EU Commission has no mandate to renegotiate the protocol. Now I think the EU are saying, look, we're tired of this. We're going to deal with this all at once now. The ECJ issue and the agri-food issues, and so what that does is put Truss in a position where she's going to have to accept something if she wants something to happen, if she wants to be known as the deal maker, essentially. Sefcovic said there would be a UK-EU joint committee meeting on February 21st. He's understood that he hoped both sides could take some decisions by that point, but it's no means clear how they're going to get through the issues. And the fact is, he's setting kind of not hard deadlines, but he's saying, look, by this time I kind of want something to be done. Neither side wants deadlines, but both London and Brussels would prefer a deal to be done before campaigning in the Northern Ireland Assembly elections beginning in March. Member states are concerned that the chaos in Westminster, Partygate, around Boris Johnson will make February breakthrough difficult, if not impossible. And the simple fact is, I think they're right, because now, to be fair, now if Liz Truss gave concessions, it would kind of slip under the radar a bit, but it will impact her leadership ambitions. That's the problem. There's also confusion around Truss's more positive engagement and a desire, as the EU put it, to renegotiate the protocol and bring up issues that were settled during the negotiations. She refers to the need to renegotiate the protocol, so all of that is very negative. But then it's in the context of her saying, "I want to do a deal." She wants to do a deal quickly. How do you square that? Her saying, "I want this whole thing ripped up and changed, but I want it done by February." Very Karen-esque of her. Simple fact is, it's not going to happen. And so Liz Truss is playing hardball now, maybe to appease the DUP, even though they're going to be voted out. It's, like I said, very hard to read it. Maybe it's a ploy towards the ERG, but by February she's not going to. If the decision around her, if she has to concede around the ECJ issue, right? If she has to offer a concession around that, I think that will scupper her leadership ambitions a lot. I think it will do a lot of damage to her. However, if she kicks that bit into the long grass, I think that gives her a chance. But I'm not sure. Depending on what the EU want to do here, it's really up to them if they want to make the ECJ issue different. You've got here, Sefcovic, hopeful of progress in February by the protocol. This is, Tuesday, 25th of January. This is also written by Tony Connolly. The same day, he talks about how, Coveney said he's hopeful that progress can be made in February between the EU and the UK negotiating teams. It's in relatively upbeat remarks about the talks this morning. Brussels said Sefcovic and his UK opposite number, Liz Truss, was quite good, according to Coveney. Everyone is conscious that February is important in the context of the discussion. He also paid tribute to the commitment of the British Foreign Secretary to the process. I think it's important to really welcome Liz Truss's personal engagement in the discussions. And here you've got Simon Coveney giving praise to Liz Truss. This article, fair enough, it was probably written the day before or 2 days before. As great as Tony Connolly is, I'm sure the man, like everyone else, needs sleep. Written on, published on the 25th at 9:32, and here you've got, 4:50, same day, Tony Connolly tweeting that there are problems with Liz Truss and her kind of stance on the Northern Ireland Protocol. And so it does show you how fast things move, and it's very difficult to get information out to you guys. I hope the audience can appreciate that a bit. Even a great one like Tony Connolly, he would still face the same kind of issues. Because we've seen these consistently. We've got more tweets here. The EU's chief negotiator signalled the end of the talks to come in February, and they talk about how things are a bit more positive than they were under Frost. Liz Truss saying the same thing. These stories were put out essentially near enough the same time, which tells you that it was a joint kind of a briefing thing that came out. But then again, Daniel Bofey is in Brussels, so he could easily have had the same source as Tony Connolly on this one. You've got Liz Truss putting this out, the Foreign Office putting this out today, even though Northern Ireland is part of the UK. Why is the Foreign Office dealing with it? As people mentioned in the comments, I'm assuming it's because this is Liz Truss's remit, and the Northern Ireland Protocol doesn't have its own Twitter page, maybe? That's all I can kind of gather from this. And then you've got Liz Truss telling the EU, stop rerunning past arguments and resolve the Northern Ireland Protocol row. This is written in the Telegraph. She's going to travel there and try and break the deadlock with Sefcovic, and she's apparently told them, stop causing issues, stop rerunning old arguments. Even though she's the one rerunning old arguments. Like, man, this is the Spider-Man meme. Do I do it? Do I put the Spider-Man meme as the thumbnail for this video that I'm going to do? I don't know. Anyways, look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope the audience can appreciate a bit how difficult it is getting information out to you guys, considering how fast things move. If I had done this video a couple of days ago, I would have said, things look like they're slightly progressing, and maybe something could be imminent in February, which is starting in a few days. But no, it looks like nothing's going to happen. And the EU are kind of changing tack a bit here by saying, we want this whole thing resolved by February. We're not going to do agri-foods now and court stuff later. It's going to be now. But I reckon it's going to be agri-foods now and court stuff later. And then whoever Liz Truss's replacement will concede on the court stuff. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.